And then also Ryan with the $20 super chat over on YouTube. You guys are going absolutely ham on the super chats right now. Honestly, let's just get a bunch of super chatter W's in the chat. But we're going to go to get that next guest up on the live for the next debate as we speak. Seth, thank you for the money gun. So do you just go ahead and give us a minute? We got the next guest, SM, in here. What is up? What is up? What is up? Did you vote for Trump?
I meant to, but I moved. So I had to wait to get my...
Would you have voted for Trump?
I would have, yes.
All right, that's good enough for me. Why?
Well, there's just a couple of reasons, because honestly, I feel like I'm kind of in a standstill. Sorry, I'm at work. I was really liberal, like my whole life, really, really liberal. And kind of honestly, as I have grown up, I've become a little bit more Republican. And honestly, it was just, I felt like I'm trying to think of the word, but it was just seeming like everything on the left was it was just too much to deal with. It almost felt like bad to be, I don't know the word I'm trying to deal with or say, white in a way. I don't know. It's just, it felt like I was constantly it just felt bad to be white. And plainly.
So you think that the Democrat Party attacks white people?
No, but I feel like...
So what are you saying?
No, kind of like the last guest was saying. Like, I want everything to be equal for everyone.
No. I want you to explain what you mean when you say that it feels bad to be white.
Not in like just general, but in like, it felt like, why are we making race such a big issue?
Oh my God, dude. Oh, you suck, man. You suck.
How does that suck?
Dude,
How?
I want you to explain to me.
I just didn't want to.
Do you feel bad for being white?
I don't, but
No.
It felt like it was constantly traced back to people that I have nothing to do with. That's not a part of my heritage. You know what I mean? It was so like...
I don't know what you mean. No, what do you mean?
Okay, so if I went on like...
Who are you talking about?
Okay,
people that are not a part of your heritage, what are you talking about? Maybe I need to pay closer attention.
No, I'm saying like it was constant. Like if I go on X, for example, it is so much hate all the time. Like I literally had to delete it because it felt like constantly like...
The only hate regarding race that I see on X is against black people, trans people, Jewish people, which isn't a race, but rather an ethnicity, women, Hispanic individuals, gay individuals, lesbian individuals, bi individuals, and like any other marginalized group in America.
Well, you're completely right.
X is like the most alt-right platform ever. I swear to God, I could open up X on my phone, scroll for less than 30 seconds, and find at least one person saying something racist, homophobic, sexist, etc.
And you're 100% right. I can see that as well. But I can also see when I'm joining in groups and everything, it is instantly like, I hate white people. I hate white people. And I was like, what the fuck did I do? Because I felt like, and I'm not coming from a bad, because I didn't vote for him. I didn't. Now, if I would have gotten it, I probably would have, just because, and not in that term generally, but I felt like the immigration thing was it seemed like an issue that I could more identify with on the right than the left. And I did.
Okay.
I felt like that. Is that bad?
No. I think that we just need to explore this further. I think that having a little conversation with you about your views on not abortion, but immigration and how they align with the views of the right. And I'm always maybe we could bring any parallels.
No, don't come at.
One moment. Maybe,
go ahead.
Maybe we could see if we could draw any parallels between your beliefs here. But let's start here. I want to talk about immigration. What are your thoughts on immigration? Give me a Trump immigration policy that you're a big fan of.
Okay, one thing before I start. Okay,
are you gonna tell me to not call you racist because you support Trump's immigration policy?
No. I just wanted to say,
No.
so the one thing that I did say was it almost, and like I said, I'm not coming because I could be swayed either way. I'm serious. And I didn't vote for him. Yes, I was probably going to, but I'm also more open. Like I watched every single thing with, you guys and like you and Parker. I watched Charlie Kirk. I watched Candace Owens. I love Candace Owens because I feel like on a lot of reasons I can agree with her. But the moment I said for a minute that, it made me feel, just because my For You page is a little bit different than yours, and I felt bad for being just white, boom. The comments
Okay.
were
Okay.
crazy in your chat. I'm just saying, because you could sway me either way if I get more information. I'm 27.
Bro,
I
Candace,
literally am always learning.
you can't say that you don't like it when people say I hate white people on the internet, and then say that you support and watch Candace Owens, who spent 28 episodes of a series arguing that Kamala Harris isn't black.
I haven't watched that one. I just get more interested in like more conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
But like I said, I was a liberal my whole life, and then
Mm.
just like not long ago, because I still watch stuff with you and Parker all the time.
Okay,
Not long ago,
I just want to hop in because you continue to go back to like, oh, how you see on the internet people say that they hate white people. Here's my thoughts on that. Okay, so I mean, I've seen a handful of people, a very small amount of people say that, and like 99% of the time when I see somebody say, oh, white people suck or I hate white people, like I usually like read it as like almost like satire that is like rooted in a white person treating like an individual that's not white like shit and just straight up being racist, or them experiencing racism. So then like indicating some type of satirical, like kind of funny response to that by saying like, oh, like white people suck, you know what I mean? Or like, like when like a white person will get on a mic and advocate for policy that disproportionately harms individuals that aren't white, while white people suck. You know what I mean? Like I think it is like the most like fucking like tame satirical response to like real world issues that impact marginalized communities in America. That like it's just a non fucking issue to me. But like I've also known people that like seriously do hate white people. I mean, I personally have had like an individual call for my death because I'm a white liberal, okay? But when that happens, that leads me to look at that person and be like, dude, like you're kind of like, that's kind of nuts, but it doesn't like resemble any larger ideologies that therefore I should vote for Republicans. It doesn't resemble any larger ideologies that like this one person being very serious saying that they want all white liberals to die is resemblant of anybody outside of them, and they're kind of fucking nuts, right? But like when you try to like victimize yourself and paint this narrative that, well, it's not just about maybe this one pure person that did seriously call for the death of all white people, which is nuts, but it more so is resemblant upon a larger group of people, like all liberals. I think that is taking it way too far, and that is just such a drawn out reaction that's pretty harmful.
it wasn't even just like, oh, like, just my race. In a way that was just kind of it. And I should go back. It made me not hate who I was. I don't want to be a victim. I'm just saying, and the things that I've seen,
Bro,
and I'm just saying,
bro, I had somebody call for my death because I'm white. That didn't make me hate myself. I was like, you're fucking crazy.
No,
my reaction is that the person that said that was just nuts. Okay, I'm gonna move on with my day.
If you would let me just,
of course, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
It's okay. I get what you're saying. I truly, truly do. But I'm saying a lot of stuff from the left, it really felt like the things that I would, more my values were starting to more align with the right, and because I was still a lot of values leaning still left, because of any of my values leaning right, it made me feel like that was just like completely fucked up. That's
not a left-leaning value to like seriously say that you hate all white people and that you want all white people to die and you want all white liberal. That's not a left value, okay? It was like a creator in like the TikTok debate sphere that said these things about me and like other white liberals. And you know what? The average left-leaning person's reaction to what they had said was? That is like fucking like harmful, and it's so crazy to promote because then it's going to lead to like people like you using that as an excuse to go red.
No, well, I mean, but it's
It's
also a lot of my
it is not
values
a
were
left-leaning
starting to
value to
lean
say that
red.
it's okay to
So
unalive all white people.
So, like me saying like in a small way, me saying that I think we should have better vetting process for immigration. That it was just like, fuck no. Me saying that I don't think we should do like and gender affirming care, whatever the fuck it is, for anyone that's under 18. Even though that's like really not that crazy to a lot of people on the left, that's just like, what the fuck is wrong
Can
with
you
you?
repeat that? I'm sorry. I'm tired today. I didn't have my coffee. I didn't
It's
get that
all
much
right, but
sleep.
you should not be me as I hit my vape. You shouldn't be vaping
Oh, I don't
because
do that.
it's
It's an
not.
anxiety pin. I appreciate the concern though, but it's just lavender and chamomile.
I saw like something on my For You page where like
Exactly.
I don't know. It looked like you were your
No, I
heart was
wasn't. It was
hurting.
lavender and chamomile.
Oh,
Oh, my
okay.
heart? Oh, like
Yeah,
on
that's
on a serious note. Okay, meme
yeah.
aside.
No, I was
Yeah,
serious. Like I saw that.
jokes over for a day. No, good point. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, is he still vaping? Because it looked like you were clutching
It's
your heart, and I feel like I've been having fucking like heart palpitations from vaping. I'm trying to quit so bad. It's so hard.
I'd say stop saying that word on the live. I don't know if like TikTok will restrict that. They don't let you
Oh
talk
yeah,
about
you're right. I'm
they don't talk about
sorry. I don't
DRUGS
go
like at
on
all.
TikTok live much, but I wanted to say like,
But
okay,
let's stay
so
on topic here.
what? Let's not say white. Okay, that was wrong because I'm white. I meant let's because in the beginning I said it made me hate being white. I meant to say it made me feel like I couldn't be kind of both in a way. I know you really it's hard to be both,
What
but
are you saying?
I feel like I was having values that were leaning right and left, but if I was having values leaning right while most of mine were on the left, it made me feel awful about myself because and which made me drift more to the right because it felt more not crazy. And I
Bro,
feel like that's
bro,
what
okay,
makes
I have a
more
question.
me.
I have a question. So
Okay.
so you're saying like, oh, you saw one person online say that they hate white people, so then all of a sudden you're
No,
just
no,
listen, just
dude,
listen,
you
just
know
listen, just
that's not
listen, just
true.
listen, just
You know
listen.
that's not true.
Just listen. You saw like one person on the internet say that they hate white people, then all of a sudden you're like MAGA. Hey, I have a question. What does MAGA think about women?
What do they think about women?
Oh yeah, I mean shit. You may see
I
like
feel like
one moment you may see right like a couple people of color on the internet saying like, oh, they hate white people is a satirical tame response to a white person being incredibly racist to them, which I find no issue with. In fact, I've kind of seen that a few times and thought it was pretty fucking funny. Okay, like Bay's satirical response. I don't know, it's just me though. But you're saying that made you go over to MAGA, then all of a sudden you're supporting the party that is platforming a rapist, saying that she deserved it, or that it was the woman's fault, or that she's a liar, etc. You're now voting for the party that overturned Roe v. Wade, that has led to 66 million human rights violations and has preluded to 60 great victims per day being denied access to abortion. You're now
but
supporting the
can't
party
I'm
that says
pretty sure
like
you can still get
women are not as
abortion.
good as at being leaders as men. Men are these strong alpha leaders, and even like people like Andrew Tate on the right saying that, oh, if you really love your wife, you'll beat her, shit like that, like literally like pro suffering of women. And I guess like
Right, but that's
like
what I'm
one black
saying.
person
Why
on the
I was
left saying that they hate white people as a satirical tame response to a white person genuinely being racist to them made you accept all those things.
no, no, not at all. I'm saying yes, there's bad people on the right, but there is also bad people on the left. Like you're like Andrew Tate. I don't give a fuck about Andrew Tate, but I see people with bad values on both sides. Honestly, we need to scrap all of them
Question.
and just have someone that's like upholds really good values
Question,
as
question, question,
president
question,
forever.
question, question, question. What real material harm have you or other white individuals experienced by some black individuals satirically stating that they hate all white people as a response to a white person being racist to them? Because I could tell you the real material harm and impact that you and other women have experienced as a result of the misogynistic rhetoric, beliefs, attitudes, propositions, and legislation on the right.
You're and I still think it can be both sides.
Answer
But
the
what
question. If it's both sides, answer the question.
say it one more time.
What real material harm have you and other white people experienced as a result of some black people satirically stating that they hate all white people as a response to a white person being racist to them?
I feel like I mean obviously it's nothing compared to I mean the comparison isn't there. Obviously it's worse. I understand that, but I'm saying
But would you be able to you didn't know any?
I'm I mean yeah,
Okay, what
it's
is it?
racism. It's racism.
I'm asking you for the real material harm that it generates? Would you be able to fill me in here?
I don't know. I
Like
mean, tons of harm. There's tons of harm that can be
uh,
from being racist.
I know, just any real material harm generated by some black individual saying that they hate all white people is a satirical response to a white person being racist to them.
I think if you constantly, I feel like America is so divided right now
No, I
that
don't
if you
agree.
are just generally
No,
white or cis or
no.
whatever people say, I mean, yes, it's bad. I don't know what other harm there is. Yes, it's bad. It's awful. It can cause multiple problems. But I'm saying
So then name one.
racism in general is
No,
fucking people hating people.
I'm specifically talking about black individuals satirically stating that they hate all white people as like a pretty like tame response to to a white person being racist to them. Tell
Okay,
me.
okay, it's the same as anyone saying a white person hates a black person, but and if a
No.
black person say
Well,
they hate a white
no,
person, well,
no,
can I
no,
say
no,
can I tell you
no,
why?
no, 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 because when Trump's like, I don't really like non-white people, therefore I'm going to pass economic policy in which disadvantages you the less money you make, which will disproportionately impact black Americans. When Trump's like, I don't really like women, therefore we're instilling a rapist into the Oval Office, perpetuating rape culture, causing significantly more harm to women, and resulting in Roe v. Wade being overturned, and now 66 million American women and girls no longer have access to abortion. I think it's different. I've already went over like the statement that you shared about a black individual saying that they hate all white people. 99% of the time that I see that, it's a fucking joke. It's a meme. You're a snowflake. It doesn't lead to any harm against yourself in any circumstance ever. For the 1% of individuals that do say that because they have genuine prejudice and they literally want white people to die, it's really cringe. It's prejudice. It's antisocial, and it's bad. Okay, right? And I think that is a pretty like cogent, overview of the first and only issue you've been harping on since you joined the live. But
Well, I
I
would like
think
to.
that at the
If you
very
want to
like
talk
bare
about
minimum,
other
at the one
issues, I
moment,
totally can.
listen, one moment, at the bare minimum, maybe the middle of the road here is to be like, well, the prejudice held by members on the right prelude to a lot of harm, significantly more harm than any prejudice you could ever conceive of anybody held on the left, as it
Okay.
relates to a black person saying that they hate all white people, or a white person like legalizing racial segregation.
I could okay, I understand what you're saying, but all I in my view of things is yes, there is absolutely nothing we can do, nothing that will ever make up for generational what we've done to black people, Native Americans. I mean, yes, we can keep trying things. I feel like a lot of things haven't. I just feel it's not going to heal that what has happened. It's never going to. So I feel like to yes, a lot of people are hating a lot of MAGA people and whatnot, but I feel like a lot of the view isn't it's racism on that side because that's not where I come from. It
Bro,
comes
I'm not okay with accepting the view that equity can never be achieved in
I
America.
know you say you're not
I'm against accepting that view because
right,
it
right.
sounds
I
because
get
like
it.
I also like am like totally against accepting that view from somebody on the right, because
No, I understand.
you're essentially saying, just give me a moment,
Well, no, there's no game.
just give me a moment. You're essentially just saying that
If someone
you're
could
not
give
giving
me
me
an
a moment.
answer,
You're not giving me a moment. I asked for a
no, if
moment.
someone could literally
All right,
give
well then
me
I'm
an
gonna go to
answer on
mute you.
what
Just give me a moment. For the last time. Because when you're saying that equity can never be achieved in America, therefore you're gonna vote for the party that'll try to make sure it's never gonna be achieved. Boo! What the fuck are you doing? Like, goddamn, you're over here saying, oh my God, white Americans have treated black Americans so damn bad that I'm gonna make sure that white Americans treat black Americans worse. I really value white Americans ensuring that we at least put an effort into quote unquote making up for systemic racism, slavery, and its aftermath. Therefore, I'm going to ensure that the average socioeconomic standing of a black American today is disproportionately worse than the average socioeconomic standing of a white American. Really? Unmute, please. I sent you an invite. Maybe while she's unmuting, I could thank some of the donors. Oh,
Is this?
no, she's
I
not.
don't know how to do it. Okay. Um, I understand what you're saying. I'm not. I feel like whenever I'm watching, because a lot of I'm a stay-at-home mom. A lot of the media I consume is right at home or on my phone, like watching a lot of debates from you guys. I'm trying to, consume a lot of information. Yes, I am so lost right now. I know people can hear it, but a lot. If you want to hear my views on why I feel like I lean more right than left, I feel like no, there. I'm not saying I'm voting right just because I feel like we can't do anything. I feel like if someone could give me a fucking answer on what I could do, I would love to do that. But it's not. It's not without. But it's not without.
You want to know what to do?
No, not vote left because
You know what to do?
a lot of my values are right.
You know what to do? Vote blue.
But there are a lot of
I'm
my
just
values.
kidding. I'm not a DN shill propaganda. I am not a DNC shill. Everybody watching, not a DNC shill. Just it rhymed, so I thought I'd say it. Maybe it would apply to the last election.
I just don't feel like. I feel like if we could, I don't feel like you could. We should be like people say reparations.
I have a question. What are your right-leaning values?
Obviously immigration. Obviously
like what? What right-leaning immigration values?
I just feel like there's no perfect in between. I feel like we should have immigrants. 100%. We are literally nothing without immigrants. But I feel like there should be better vetting processes of
for who?
For migrants coming in.
Okay, such as what?
I don't know, not too much and not too little. I don't want to make it 6 years for someone to gain citizenship because that just seems so insane.
What are the current vetting processes of legal migration?
Well, I don't know, but I know a little while ago it seemed like just anyone could go in through an app. Was that not it?
Oh no. So you're talking about the CBP1 app? That was an app.
Or just breaking through.
Would you allow me to finish?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
That was an app given to asylum seekers just so they could have updates on their court appearances. So they could continue through the process of seeking legal citizenship or residency. Asylum. A status of asylum. I don't know why I said a citizenship or residency. The reason why this app is good is because plenty of asylum seekers don't know when their court appearances are. They forget them. They don't write them down because miscellaneous reasons. And we'll see like tens of thousands of asylum seekers completely miss their court dates because they don't know when it is. So this is an app to make sure that asylum seekers are more in the know of where they got to be and when to continue their process towards the asylum status in America. Why would you not support that? That reduces the amount of undocumented migrants in our country.
And I might have just had it wrong in thinking that it was just to come through. But okay, let's just say walking right past the border. I feel like anyone could come in. Who would want someone that shouldn't be coming over? I feel like, yes, anyone could come over that wants a great opportunity. It shouldn't take 6 fucking years for someone that's working just as hard as me to gain citizenship. I feel like every American should fucking take a citizenship test. 100%. If you can't be in here, it's not fair.
So I'm guessing you're like saying that you want to reduce undocumented. Oh my God.
I just don't want somebody coming in.
I'm saying that you want to reduce undocumented migration. Okay, well you're okay with somebody going to the White House. That's bad, but you're not okay with somebody coming in.
I don't feel like Trump is. I don't feel like Trump is bad.
He's a violent fucking criminal. He's raped a woman. He's committed 34 felonies.
But he wasn't okay. Well, the 34 felonies things wasn't it something that had never been happened before. They like changed the rules just to do that.
Propaganda. No, wrong.
Okay. Oh, I can say the same thing about propaganda on the other side. I see he's a convicted rapist 24/7, but he's actually not.
He was held liable for rape.
But he wasn't convicted, was he?
Liability. When I say he's been held liable, that means that a unanimous jury of 9 in a civil court all agree that he was guilty. Yes.
But then why wasn't he convicted? That's what I don't understand.
That is the quote unquote conviction.
But why if you rape someone, why don't you go to jail?
If a conviction is just a guilty ruling from a jury, he was convicted. And why is he not in jail? Because it was a civil court.
But rapists go to jail.
So some rapists, well, actually, majority don't. Majority roam free on the streets.
Wasn't Kamala husband?
Would you allow me to finish?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
So majority don't. Majority roam free on the streets. But for the grapists that are prosecuted, some grapists are sent to jail with the use of a criminal court. Other grapists are sued in a civil court. And the reason that Donald Trump was held liable in a civil court compared to any criminal processing was because of the fact that the statute of limitations had ran out on A. Jean Carroll to pursue any criminal litigation.
Right. I just feel like there's a lot of around that case that seem really, really lack of evidence. Like I feel like if you are going to convict, I mean, not yes, if you feel like the need to do it way later in time, I mean, yes, I guess they'll try, but rapists should go to jail. I feel like that whole thing is really just wishy-washy. I feel like if we literally all could see that, yes, he raped someone, went to jail, we would be like, okay, yeah, no. If we see, okay, he's got 34 felonies, went to jail, spent prison time, okay, yeah, no. But it's just none of these are happening. Wasn't Kamala Harris's husband accused of rape?
No, not that I know of.
I look it up. I promise you, it's some Kamala Harris's husband was. It was something about he was accused of rape or.
No.
I literally saw. I looked on it on. I looked it up. I just Googled it. I can't remember exactly what it was. I wish I could exit out of this so I could see.
I wouldn't know. Yeah, he hasn't been accused of rape. Hey, real quick, why do you care? If he was accused of rape, why do you give a shit?
I would give a shit because if he is accused, isn't it the same thing as accusing Donald Trump or being held liable? Wouldn't it be like tit for tat?
An accusation is not the same as being held liable.
But, wait, one more thing.
Stop. Let's assume that it is. Okay, it's the same thing. You told us that you don't give a shit that Trump's held liable, and if it's the same thing that Doug's accused, you shouldn't give a shit that Doug's accused, right? I mean, you can't tell me that you can't tell me that they're the same thing, and then tell me that you only care about Doug and not about Trump.
No,
well, I mean, I do just want to reiterate that this is not true. He was not accused of rape.
Sexually assaulting, whatever. I know he was accused of something, but no, it's not saying that. It's saying, okay, well, if you guys care so much about that, why wouldn't you care about that? That's kind of the point I was, going towards in a way.
Well, my point is, if you care so much about Doug, why don't you care about Trump?
Like I said, I feel like both are like wishy-washy. It's like, how the fuck can I really uphold that he did that if there's no jail time? Like, that makes no sense.
Dude, okay. Do you know what it means? Do you know what a civil court is?
Yes, I do.
What's a civil court?
It's where you're tried by a bunch of civilians.
No, you're tried by a jury of 9.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay, and the difference between a civil and a criminal court is what?
Let's say that again. Sorry, I was reading.
The difference between a civil and a criminal court is what?
Okay. So criminal, okay. So maybe criminal, you're going to jail.
Criminal courts determine criminal responsibility, which means you're going to jail.
Why wouldn't she do criminal court?
One moment. Civil courts determine like financial responsibility, which means you get your ass sued and you owe a lot of money. Do you typically trust the outcomes of civil courts?
No, people get convicted wrongly all the time.
So you think that schools should still be racially segregated because Brown v. Board was the court decision to uphold that racial segregation was illegal in America, and that was a court decision made by a civil court.
No, I mean, I just think there's.
No.
I mean, it's not like saying every single one is right?
Yeah.
I mean,
was OJ guilty?
Obviously.
Yeah, what court found him guilty? Was it a civil one or a criminal one?
What was it?
It was a civil one.
So why wouldn't Trump be criminal? That's what I'm.
Yeah,
I'm still absorbing information.
There was a statute of limitations on being able to criminally prosecute a grape from the 1990s in the state of New York at the time. But meanwhile, the statute of limitations had not passed yet for civil prosecution. She could only pursue civil litigation. She could not pursue criminal litigation.
Just like you could, okay, so is there any case, let's just say within the past 20 years of a civil court that may have gotten it wrong? Might have. Just maybe.
Of course.
Okay, so just like you can say, was OJ guilty? Yes, he was. But there also is times where they have it wrong.
Yeah.
And I remember learning about the facts of the case. And yeah, it did seem like really all over the place. Like
Hey, quick
she said
question.
it was, and then she said it wasn't, and then there was no evidence,
Do you
and
think
then
that
there
there's been
was.
any case in the last 20 years where a criminal court got it wrong?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
So Epstein's innocent.
What? No, obviously not.
Why? He was criminally prosecuted, and it's pretty fucking wishy-washy since criminal
Was it
courts have
wishy
got it wrong.
washy? Was it wishy washy?
Oh, so you're telling me that the standard to determine if the outcome of a court case does
Is
not
evidence.
is evidence and nothing but evidence. Name one piece of evidence that E. Jean Carroll submitted to the jury to hold Trump liable for raping her.
Did none? None?
What?
Or what?
Can you name one piece of evidence?
I know there was something about a dress.
Something about a dress. A dress was not submitted as a piece of evidence for the jury used to hold Trump liable. So here's the thing. You can't name me one piece of evidence that the jury in the civil court used to hold Trump liable for raping E. Jean Carroll, but you tell me you determine if the outcome of a court is wishy-washy or not based upon the evidence submitted. And you've been arguing for the last 20 minutes that it's sure as hell wishy-washy. So for the last 20 minutes that you've been arguing that the civil court that held Trump liable was wishy-washy without knowing any evidence, what was your standard for it being wishy-washy?
I'd have to. I wish I could pull it up and see what that I felt that was not. I feel like most of America wouldn't. Most, a majority, popular vote of America would not vote for a man that did rape someone. So most people that were liberal and went over to Republican would not vote for someone that had hard evidence in a rape case. Like that that's not going to happen. And just like people say Trump's racist, this is
Wait. You're telling me that you think that Donald Trump's rape case was wishy-washy because a lot of people still supported him?
I feel like if there was hard
Oh my
facts,
God.
right?
70% of Republicans think that Donald Trump won 2020. So is the claim that Biden won 2020 real wishy-washy?
Oh, I don't even, honestly, like I said, I just became like more right-leaning.
Who won 2020?
I wouldn't even say I'm more Republican.
Who won 2020?
Wasn't there something about like so many much less voters went someone? you know what
I'm going to
saying.
ask you my question again. Who won the 2020 presidential election in our country?
Oh, yeah, Joe Biden, obviously. Joe Biden.
Great. Well, why is that not wishy-washy?
Well, why-
70% of Republicans disagree with you.
Right, but popular vote on something that would be
if
so
Biden really
bad.
won 2020, then how come millions and millions and millions of Republicans think Trump won? Maybe it's not because they have any evidence for their belief, and maybe it's rather because MAGA is a cult that bows the knee and contorts their own version of reality to whatever Donald Trump says.
Yeah,
maybe
I would say the same
politics
thing
and
about the
support
left.
for politicians on the right in MAGA isn't surrounding fact, reason, or logic, but it's rather just surrounding whatever they can do to get Trump ahead no matter what.
I don't feel like all of America would be like that. I just don't. I literally, I just don't.
Dude,
I don't feel like I'm telling you.
is Donald Trump pro law and order? I'm going to demonstrate how it's true of you right now. Is Donald Trump pro law and order?
Yeah.
So you back the blue.
Yeah.
Okay. And you never support a president that willfully and intentionally let violent offenders that beat up cops trying to kill them out of jail to roam free in the streets, calling them patriots, right?
Are you talking about the whatever the fuck when they
JJ, thank you so much for the galaxy. January 6th? No. I'm not talking about Trump. I'm not talking about January 6th. He didn't release any violent offenders. I'm talking about Biden. So you'd never support a president that willfully and intentionally let violent offenders that beat up cops trying to unalive them to roam free in the streets, letting them out of jail after calling them patriots, right?
No.
Okay. You're a cult member because Donald Trump did this. He pardoned DJ Rodriguez, who was a violent offender that had been convicted in a criminal court of driving a stun gun into the neck of a cop. He pled guilty. The cop testified against him. He went in jail. Donald Trump called him and all of his buddies patriots, then pardoned them. This means that you never support Trump, right?
I mean, I guess a lot would make me lean more towards learning about the other side. That's what I'm trying to say. I feel like more people.
So I'm just going to go ahead and give you two possible answers. You either still support Trump or you don't support Trump. Which one is it?
I feel like, to be honest, I wouldn't support either. Like in the wide range of things, we Biden was obviously shit. Kamala,
Wait, wait, wait. I want to just. Do you regret your vote for Trump because you no longer
I didn't
support
vote
him?
for Trump.
Oh, that's right. You would have. You missed it. So do you no longer support Trump?
I don't really support any or either.
Okay, so
I
you're
don't
not. So you're
I don't
not.
feel like
So you're not. So you're not in support of Trump anymore.
do you support Joe Biden?
I thought that he was the best president in modern American history.
Right. I want to
Like
ask,
for domestic policy.
do you feel like Joe Biden was racist?
Do I feel
And
like Joe
I
Biden was racist? I mean, I think that Joe Biden had definitely done a shit ton of racist things, in his
right,
in,
I
in his
just feel
career. But the difference between Joe Biden and like Obama is that Joe Biden, sorry, not Obama,
Yeah, I was gonna say what?
yeah, Trump. The difference between Joe Biden and Trump. I'm so sorry for equivocating between Obama and Trump. That is a very large contrast.
Uh,
Is
yeah, Obama was.
is that
Ugh,
is
so
is
some- they
is
all are awful,
and well,
honestly.
the difference, if you'd allow me to speak here, is that
Go ahead.
Biden tried. So Biden tried to hold himself accountable. Biden was willing to talk and apologize for the racist things he's done in his career, and I believe that Biden put an effort into being anti-racist and advocating for policy that was good and not regressive to Black Americans. I will say I don't think he did enough for Black Americans. I don't think Democrats have as a whole. That's one of my many agreements with the Dems. But my point is that when we contrast Trump and Obama, why do I now I'm confused with Obama and Biden. Why do I
I
want to
don't
talk about
know.
Obama? Maybe I just really like the guy.
It's that chamomile
Between Trump,
pen.
I think it's because people are saying it in the chat now, and I'm reading the chat as I
Ah!
speak. Between Trump and Biden is that Donald Trump has never held himself, responsible for any of the racist things he's ever done in the entirety of his life. Yeah, he's been racist since the 70s until today. He's never said, I'm sorry. He's never held himself accountable. He's never tried to pass policy that was good
Well,
for
what
Black
didn't he invest?
Americans.
Didn't he invest a ton in HBCUs and all that? I saw something where he did. It was like a
Yeah.
list of a decent amount of things. I feel like you couldn't call him racist if you couldn't call Joe Biden racist as well, because he did some obviously racist stuff
Well, let's
with
talk about
on
investment
camera.
in
On
HBCUs.
camera.
Hey, I'm going to invest in you. Do you want to know how I'm going to do this?
Oh, geez. Okay, go ahead.
I'm going to take every dollar that you have to your name and then just give you 5 back. I'm making an investment of $5 in you.
Great, I'll have $5.
But I'm taking every other dollar to your name.
Okay, I'll still have $5.
So in the grand scheme of things, did I make an investment in you or did I take from you?
I mean, I can see where you're going, but in my case, it really wouldn't be much. If you give me the same amount back.
I mean, do you have more than $5 to your name?
Depends on what day. I mean, like I said, I'm a
Yeah.
mom.
Yeah, I get that.
Shitty old
Um,
Ohio. That's
well,
why. Okay, can I just tell you one more
listen,
thing?
no,
And
no,
I
real
gotta go.
quick.
I'm at work.
I want to finish out this point. I'm just not going to use an analogy, and I'm just going to go ahead and describe what the facts of the case is. So Donald Trump decreased funding to HBCUs. Obama sent them $2 billion. He sent them $256 million per year, averaging out to around $1 billion over his term. Meanwhile, Biden and Harris fucking sent $16 billion in 4 years. So he decreased funding when contrasted to Obama's presidency. And then Biden and Harris increased it by a crazy exponential. It would have taken HBCUs 50 or so years to secure as much funding under Donald Trump's expenditure and plan to give more money to them. Insofar as what they got in 4 years from Biden and Harris.
Okay, I mean, I can't. I'll take what you say as
Yeah.
what.
And then he also said that you're like a mom with not a lot of money. You're losing a lot of money by supporting Trump. It is the case that if Kamala Harris was elected, you would have had pretty big increases in your child tax credit for your children if they're under the age of 18.
What? But that what?
Alongside the fact that Harris's economic policy only benefited 100 million American workers and the low and the middle class. Meanwhile, Trump's economic policy only benefits the top 3% and actually hurts anybody making under that dollar amount.
The cats and dogs thing. Sorry, I was reading the thing. I'll take what you say. I understand it. Like I said, I'll constantly do more research. I'm never leaning both way, but and like I said, in a lot of ways, maybe yes, you're right. I do not support everything Donald Trump does, but I also find equally as bad things with when I support people on the left. When I
Ew,
support
what's the worst
people,
thing Kamala Harris has ever done?
No, I'm saying when I feel like I lean a little more left, I'm giving up a lot more than I feel like I'm getting when I go to
Yeah,
the
yeah,
other side.
yeah, yeah. Sure. What's the worst thing that Kamala Harris has ever done?
I don't support the abortion. I don't support the immigration. I just feel like every.
Oh shit! I didn't mean to kick her. I sometimes I kick people and then I say I don't mean to kick them and it's like a meme, it's like a joke, it's like a troll. I actually just kicked her without meaning to. That was actually a mistake. I actually didn't mean to kick her. I was trying to kick this Julian guy that's like not loaded into the live. I'm sorry.